What is going on, everybody? My name is Alex, and behind me here is the Mach-E. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a test drive and just kind of first impressions of the car. Didn't have a ton of time with it today, but wanted to share my thoughts with it and my driving experience. So let's check it out. Before we get started, I just want to give a big thank you to Germain Ford of Beavercreek. They let us check out this Mach-E, and to my friend Vas. He got some of the drone shots and some of the supplemental footage you'll see in this video. The Mach-E is Ford's latest entry into the EV market, and honestly, this is a huge one for Ford. I've heard great things about this from car reviewers and Mach-E owners alike, so I was really excited to check this one out. I know a lot of potential buyers are comparing this to the Model Y when they're buying it, and Tesla is kind of the de facto benchmark when I check out new EVs. Being a Tesla owner myself, that's what I'm used to, and that's kind of what I'm going to be doing throughout this overview, is seeing how it matches up with Tesla, some pros and cons, and just my overall impressions of the car. But before we get into the overview and comparisons between those two cars, let's talk specs. This is the premium trim, which is a step below their all-out performance GT trim. It is an all-wheel drive, so you still get plenty of performance with a rated 0 to 60 time of 4.8 seconds. And that actually matches the long-range Model Y's rated acceleration time. EPA rated range is 270 miles, which is enough to get from Columbus to Cincinnati and back with room to spare. And to charge everything up, there are ports for the J1 772 plug for home or public charging, and a little tab flips down for CCS DC fast charging up to 150 kilowatts. This is up to a green level 6 on ChargeWay's system. So what really struck me when I first saw this vehicle was just how big it is. I mean, thinking of Mustangs, they're kind of smaller muscle cars, but you look at this Mach-E and it is a big SUV. It's a big car. And comparing it just to my Model 3, it's a lot bigger, and I think the Model Y just might edge it out in terms of just pure size. And I think that's the important thing to remember with this vehicle, is it is an SUV. Even though it has a Mustang name on it, it is an SUV. Overall, the exterior styling I'm a big fan of. I'm glad they didn't go with a completely faux grille here. They kind of just smoothed it over and added some extra accents. And I noticed this weird thing with the battery cooling air intake, I'm guessing, where it actually closes when the car is off. So right now the car is on, and when we turned it off, those grills close to kind of streamline the car even more. And around back, you've got some very familiar Mustang style headlights, which I think makes the car look awesome, honestly. It makes it look a lot more sporty than most SUVs on the road. Opening up the trunk, you can see there's plenty of room back here. Only thing I wish they would have changed is make those seats fold flat to give you even more room, but it still does give you some extra room when those seats are folded down. Being an EV without an engine, there is a little bit of a frunk space up here, and it's already got these pre-installed dividers in there to kind of help organize your stuff a little bit better, but it does appear to be removable if you do need extra space up here. Now, getting in the car was a little weird at first, but honestly, after I did it a couple times, it was very intuitive. You just press the button and pull the little handle on the side to open the door. And I kind of like these better than the Tesla door handles, honestly. It's much easier to do with just a couple fingers instead of needing your whole hand. On the interior, you've got two screens running the whole operation here. Your main dashboard right in front of the steering wheel has your range, battery percentage, your miles per hour, and your current gear, as well as your odometer and some other crucial driving information. And then you've got this giant vertical screen to the right of you in the center of the car. And this screen is split into three different sections. So the very bottom part of it is your climate controls, which is there all the time. The very top is your driver settings and kind of your main menu, your time, exterior temperature, Wi-Fi, all that stuff is all on the top bar. And then the whole center of the screen is kind of the adaptive part of it and will change depending on what you want the touchscreen to be doing. It also has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay built in, so you can connect your phone and use any apps you'd like. Probably the quirkiest part of this touchscreen is that giant dial in the middle. All it does is volume. It doesn't adapt to anything you're doing or any kind of climate controls or anything like that. It is always volume. There are steering wheel controls for volume, but I will say that is nice for the passenger to quickly change the volume versus trying to find a setting on a touchscreen. Another thing I like here is the 360 view when you've got your backup camera up, and you can actually switch which camera you're looking out of. So there's a camera in the front of the car that you can look at on the touchscreen to make sure you don't bump into anything that's in front of you. There's also a lot of settings in here that I didn't have time to look at or get into, but overall the touchscreen seems very impressive, seems laid out pretty well, and it's still very responsive, unlike a lot of other car touchscreens nowadays. Now for the fun part, actually driving the car. Honestly, I was quite impressed with the Mustang, as what I am with most EVs, honestly, with just how quick they are off the line. The performance is incredible. Like I said, it's as quick as the long-range Model Y, and it's almost as quick as my Model 3. But going back to the Mustang comparison and why it really feels more like an SUV than a Mustang, it sits up a lot higher than most muscle cars, similar to the Mustang. I drove a Mustang last summer, and that thing sits really low to the ground. This sits up a lot higher. You can see more of the road, and visibility is a lot better. Another thing I noticed driving was the sound, actually. Going from 0 to 20, 0 to 30, it sounded a lot like other EVs I've driven, but after that, you can almost kind of feel an engine rumble and kind of hear an engine rumble when you are driving at those speeds. Yeah. Oh, it does sound like a regular car. That's weird.
It sounds electric at first,
yeah,
and then it kind of like kicks in.
And I'm not sure if that's something they did intentionally or just the way the motors are tuned, but I think it's definitely something that manufacturers are starting to pay attention to. They're realizing how important sound is to a car driving experience. And I think we'll definitely see more cars implement a kind of faux engine sound with these EVs that are so naturally quiet. One thing I did wish I was able to test a little bit more was Ford's Copilot 360, which is kind of their version of autopilots. I honestly did not have a ton of time driving the car, so that's definitely something I want to do if I get some more time with it and can do a full review on it. But overall, I think I'm really impressed with this car. Oh, yeah, it's way up there.
Like, it's not, motors haven't even gone, like it's not even going.
Yeah, it's...
Good times.
Yep.
Like, honestly, I don't even know who to call. Is this a fire department call?
I don't know. And we're back. So overall, definitely impressed with this car. Definitely something I think you should check out if you're looking for an SUV, looking for an EV, and might be considering other vehicles. I think the Ford Mustang Mach-E should definitely be on your list to check out, especially since they are still eligible for that $7,500 tax credit, which might save you a bit of money. Well, that is all for this one. Thank you so much for checking out this video. We did end up getting the drone down. Vas was able to recover all the footage off it, and there was barely any scratches on the drone, so everything worked out well. Thank you again to him for helping out with this video, and make sure you check out his channel. I'll have that link down in the description, and enjoy this beautiful shot of the sky.